Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Age of Pickleball Insider. We are here now. It is me, Migo. We got Rob here, and we got our guest for the day, Toby
Special
Claudio.
guest. We have
Hey guys.
Migo's boss on several levels.
Hey
Mhm.
guys. Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Would love to. So we talked about it a little bit last episode in respect to Toby Sports and how you guys are one of the biggest sporting good retailers in the Philippines. And I'm not going to say how many stores because Migo really ruined that last episode for us. But would love to
Should
learn
good.
more about. Would love to learn more about how you got into the business. And I know it's a funny story because you think Toby Sports, your name's Toby, that you like named the business after yourself, and you made it very clear that was not the case. So we'd love to hear kind of just an origin story around it.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Well, I was pretty much born into the business. I was 5 when my dad had the harebrained idea of opening up a toy store. He just wanted to be an entrepreneur. So he had the opportunity to open a tiny store in one of the first malls in the Philippines. And so he did the easiest thing, which was toys. And he was too embarrassed for sure to use his name, which is Bobby. So he looked at me, okay, use your name instead for the toy store. No, it was Toby's Forms and Shapes, the first store. But his passion was really sports. He loved playing tennis. And tennis was the big thing back then. So just a year after starting, he converted it into full line sporting goods store. But it was slow going for maybe the first 10, 15 years. And then, but since we were the first, we were really one of the first pro shops and one of the first full line sporting goods store, carrying the top brands from all over the world. When the economy really grew and all these malls started sprouting up, we were in every one of them. And fast forward to now, we have 67 stores. Yeah, across 3 formats, no? Toby Sports, Runner, and Urban Athletics, plus a few e-commerce sites.
Beautiful. What's been, just out of my own curiosity, what's been the biggest challenge in terms of the business as a whole?
I think it's anticipating trends, and of course, in the Philippine context, it's riding out different business cycles and economic cycles. There was the Asian financial crisis. We had a couple of coups, and and a few changes of government. But yeah, it's still been good business because the Philippines as a whole has really been on the rise, and especially lately. You live here now, and you can see how far it's come. It's really getting to become one of the top cities in the world. By population, we're huge. The whole country has 100 plus million, and the economic status of people is going up. So for sports, it's been great. We've seen so many booms. First tennis, and then we had boxing because of Pacquiao. Badminton really blew up. Running was, of course, basketball is the constant. No, it's the national.
Well, I wouldn't say, of
pastime.
course, that was incredibly surprising to me coming over and not knowing much about the Philippines or the
Right.
athletic kind of background, was
Right.
that basketball is incredibly popular as well as volleyball.
Yeah, basketball, for some reason, we just fell in love with the sport. And I'd say half of Filipino males play basketball. But now, pickleball is making a strong case for becoming the next national pastime. I've gone out on a limb and said many times that I foresee pickleball becoming the biggest participation sport, of course, excluding running. Maybe even, more people playing pickleball than basketball one day, and that might not be far off. Yeah, we're really seeing pickleball boom, but it's still nowhere near what happened in the places like India, Vietnam, Malaysia. So I really see it happening. It's really happening now in the Philippines.
Yeah, and I think the only difference between, I don't think it's a lack of interest necessarily of people wanting to play. I think that the demand's probably just as high as those other countries. I think at this point, it seems to be more of a facilities issue and courts issue, because you see a lot of still hardwood floors, which is kind of that's the ultimate genesis for any new place that has pickleball coming along, is you play wherever you can. Most of the time, even in the States, that started off on hardwood floors. and which is what we
Mhm.
see still in the Philippines quite a bit. And then that starts to evolve, and you get real permanent courts and permanent facilities. And I think that's where we're entering into for the Philippines, is a lot of hardwood right now. And then next phase is a lot of facilities going up and permanent courts. And I think that's where we really see the sport taking off here.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
still see a lot of people going out of the city or on road trips just to find a good court to play at. But and I know your story with getting into pickleball is a little funny because you came into it tennis purist. You're one of those tennis purists coming into the sports. How did that shift happen for you?
Yeah, to be more accurate, I was a tennis snob. The first time I picked up a pickleball, a paddle and ball, I found it, kiddie. I thought it was a toy. I didn't want to take it seriously. Couldn't get over the name. Somebody called me out on Instagram for that, all the way from the States. Don't diss the sport just because of the name. And true enough, I was right. I ate my words, because the first time I played against really good players, and so happened it was the top 1 and 2 men's doubles players in the country. The first time I shared a court with them, that's when I realized, that it is a serious sport that entails a lot of athleticism, speed, reflexes, fitness, so it's a legitimate sport, and that's been more than 2 years. They're almost going on 3 years now, where I've really taken the sport seriously, along with Migo over here, who we consider ourselves students of the game. So I really, really believe that pickleball has it all. I even call it a perfect sport, because so many people can play it. It's easy to learn. Whole families can enjoy it, and yet it's competitive. It's intense. It can get you fit. It can, get the competitive juices flowing. It can get you injured too, like me,
I tested that
unfortunately.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So that alone means it's a real sport. Yeah, if it can tear your meniscus like me, yeah, it's got to be a serious sport.
That's the beauty of it, is it can be as chill and relaxed as you want it to be, and it can be honestly as intense and competitive as you want it to be. That's like you said, that's kind of bridges the gap of everybody can play it and have fun, but it can also be really intense at the highest level.
Yeah, and it's so accessible, and the skill gap isn't that big. You can literally share a court with a pro and not be, too embarrassed. You'd lose, definitely, but you can still play a decent game. And I think
Like with
that's what makes
tennis,
it
it's just right. You
yeah,
can't even get into there's no rally at all if you're playing a pro and you're an amateur tennis player. So that
exactly.
you're exactly
Exactly.
right.
Exactly, exactly. And that's probably what makes it a really social sport. No. Any group of people can all have fun, and you can all play a game. And it's seldom that you see a sport that allows for that.
How has it been? Another thing that's probably made you enjoy the sport more is selling pickleball equipment in all your
Mm-hmm,
stores. Have you seen that be a
mm-hmm.
big category for you guys over the past few years, and is it continuing to grow, or what does that look like from a sales perspective with Toby Sports?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's still small right now relative to the really established sports. Now, even of course basketball, running. It's still behind tennis and badminton, but it's definitely the fastest growing. We've been on the lookout for a new sport to really grow and boom. And again, 2.5 years ago, when I really saw the light and saw what pickleball was all about, we decided to go all in on pickleball, stock up on different brands, and create our own products for value for money that could really allow beginners access to gear at an affordable price point. And that's done very, very well under our Toby's Pro brand. No, aside from the brands we do carry, all the top brands, no, Yola, Franklin, Selkirk, among others. No, so we really want more people to try the sport, and we're offering a very big range, and it's growing every few weeks. We increase the size of the pickleball display in our stores. No,
Love
and
it.
most of our efforts now for events are, if it's not running, little basketball, then all pickleball, no, especially for the tournaments that we've been staging.
Yeah. And that's a perfect segue to the next event that you would have coming up, which is the PCL sectionals happening just 2 weeks from now. So how did that start for you? How did you well, how did we start that? And where do you see the potential of that PCL as a league, as a brand going forward?
Well, yeah, we when we started doing a pickleball, when we had the vision to do a pickleball tournament, we all agreed, especially Migo and I, to do team tournaments, and we started doing a series in the top SM malls, which are the biggest. It's the biggest mall chain in the Philippines. We wanted to do two things. We wanted to do a team tournament. And we wanted to do it in the top malls, and we were able to do that. And then PCL came along and amplified that, because Steve, with the PCL concept, took it regional with the exact same setup that we had already running. We bolted on the PCL, road to the finals, which happened for the first season in China, with our Philippine team qualifying, not only qualifying, but winning it all in the first PCL finals held in Shenzhen, China last year. And that was such a proud moment for us, for the country, as tournament organizers, because, it's all about finding the diamonds in the rough. And we brought, a lot of the best teams, some of them unknown. And the team that we sent to China, ended up beating out really strong countries like Vietnam to win in the finals. Though. And it was just such a hard fought championship game. So that was a great moment for Philippine pickleball, though. I think a lot of people were following online, watching the live streams. And, we made a lot of people happy when the Philippines won the first PCL.
And I do think that is the unique aspect that will make this format really work, especially in Asia. For context, for those of you watching that don't understand, so PCL is Pickleball Champions League Asia. There's sectionals within each country, essentially, and those countries will compete to send teams to the PCL finals, which season 1 was in Shenzhen, and season 2 also, but at a new facility. So you basically have your top performers and top teams from each sectional country that go to Shenzhen to all compete against each other for the PCL finals. And the beauty of it is the national pride aspect, which you alluded to there, Toby, which, everybody rallies around their country, wants to support. And we just saw the Pickleball World Cup happen in Fort Lauderdale. Same thing, right? So it's like, people love rallying around the countries and the team event, like you mentioned. And I think that's the beauty of PCL.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it was so cool seeing because we had the PCL live stream up, which had great viewership. I was commentating on that. But the funniest thing for me was you and Jeff from Poland Hopia doing your own live stream on Facebook and getting, I think it was 100,000 on
Yeah. Yeah.
on the finals game, which was crazy. Everyone from the country tuning in to watch, cheering. The chat was going nuts. Y'all were
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was my first stint as a, play-by-play broadcaster there.
Yeah.
It was fun, I was just, sharing my excitement, calling the game as I saw it. And what a game it was. We came behind, we were like we had the same 5 or 6 game points in the first men's doubles match. And when we came back from that, the rest was history. I think we showed that we were destined to win, and the Philippine pickleball community, which was following along on Facebook on the live stream, really all came out to support. So that's where the team tournament, not only the team tournament, but the country pride really came in. This time the prizes are even bigger, and there are more countries. So I think it's a really great format. It's a really great idea for to grow the sport of pickleball in Asia, and I really think it'll bring out the best players and best clubs. Yeah, at least in the Philippines, we have a full slate already, and they're gonna fight it out on November 15, 16 in the biggest mall in the Philippines, in front of a huge crowd. So it's gonna be a great event locally, and I'm sure the finals in China this year are going to be intense, given how big the prizes are.
Yeah, and that's always the thing. Set aside the prizes, there's already a lot of engagement just based on the team atmosphere, the country atmosphere. But when you throw in the mix real prize money like this, and the stakes, for me, like if I'm watching a sport, I want to know what's at stake for the competitors. I want that reaction, right? Or to feel that tension of that person really wanting to win. So if I'm watching a final, I know there's real stakes here, because that just makes it so much more interesting to watch. And I think that's also kind of the next iteration of PCL this season versus last season. There's real stakes this season, and it's real competition, and these teams are going to fight tooth and nail to win this thing, and that's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah. Even last time, the crowd in the mall was really, really into it, and we expect that to be even bigger this time.
And I love the visual of the mall. You have the terraces and people looking down, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, mall's gonna be great. The sun, the huge window in the back, it's gonna be I'm already so excited. And not just for the games, but we're also gonna be doing a bunch of other stuff. There's gonna be giveaways from quick segue to one of our sponsors, Ram Sports, who's gonna be giving away paddles, bags, stuff like the one behind me up on the roof, up on the door there. They got bags, they got paddles. My ring light just fell, and
you still look.
Thank you. Yeah, Ram's gonna be giving away a bunch of stuff during the event as well, so you guys should show up or watch online to get some of that. And yeah, just going back as well, the event, it's not just gonna be fun for the players to play in, but watching it is gonna be I'm so excited. I'm gonna be helping run it, of course, but also just watching. Oh my gosh, I can already imagine the matches, the matchups. You have just a quick preview. You have siblings playing each other on different teams. You have husband and wives playing each other on different teams. You have season 1 champions playing against each other. You have new partnerships that the country hasn't seen before because of the unique rule of 9. And we get to predict on all of these as well. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Is we're going to be running a prediction contest, which you will be able to sign up for and have the potential to earn quite a bit of cash money if you predict correctly. If you get them all right, you get a big cash prize. If you win the contest, let's say nobody guesses it perfectly, but you still win the contest, you still get a good cash prize. So free to enter, going to be super fun. It's going to give you a reason to watch beyond the excitement that's already happening, and just another chance to win some stuff.
Yeah, and just to double check, the event is going to be live in MOA in the music hall, and they can watch online as well through
Puso Pilipinas.
Yeah, through Puso Pilipinas. There'll be a link which we will post on our page as well as Toby's page, and yeah, you guys can get
Gonna be a blast.
Yes, it will. And so just another thing to add. So of course it's already the big leagues in pickleball, right? You have the PPA, you have WPC, you have MLP. Where do you guys see PCL fitting into that?
Curious on Toby's take on this, because we have PCL Asia right now. I think we could see that obviously expand to other regions. That's a natural progression. But Toby, curious on your take. Obviously, you guys were running events here in the Philippines prior to this. So, one, what made you want to do that? And two, where do you see this all going in respect to PCL and potentially the growth trajectory of it?
Well, our vision initially was really to grow pickleball in the Philippines, no? And that's exactly what we were doing with our Super Series tournaments. And we had so much room. We still have so much room to expand that nationwide, which we're definitely doing next season. But then PCL came into the picture, and we instantly went from a Metro Manila tournament to a Asian tournament. And I think, there's a place for all of it. Anything that will help the sport grow. And in Asia, I really think it's really blowing up. And with the combined population, I don't know the exact number, but if you just combine the populations, the countries where pickleball is booming now, those alone, India, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, I hear, Hong Kong, Singapore, it's also, and then of course China. When China really gets into it, the population's gonna, make everything exponential. So I think the PCL format of bringing together the best clubs in Asia is just gonna get bigger. I think the 32 sectionals were quickly filled up this year. This for the second season. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more, after this season's done, and we pull off another great championship in the new Ram Sports Stadium in China, which is really designed for broadcasting a live pickleball event, it's going to get even bigger mileage and even more eyeballs for the sport now in Asia. So I think next year more teams will be ready to sign up. Next more teams will be signing up to get into the action, and that's can only be great for both Philippine pickleball and Asian pickleball.
Agree. Yeah, the numbers are staggering of what they could be. And I think that's what I always think back to is India, China. Once it really gets going, it's going to be insane.
Right, right. At some point, they're gonna have to turn down teams and even countries already because there's just not enough courts to not a big enough place to run the tournament. Unless, of course, we move the tournament to the new place in China, which is building, even more courts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's next situation is just going to have huge facilities that can accommodate this because the demand is going to be so high. So that's where it's going.
Yeah, here at least we're gonna have our first 25 court facility hopefully next year, late next year, early 2027. But yeah, that's the only thing holding us back now in the Philippines. Not enough courts.
Yeah, exactly. But that'll change. Migo is going to start going out there and building them.
Yeah, brick
Yeah,
by
we just
brick.
came back from KL, and seeing the courts there just blew our mind.
They're
How
everywhere.
big and how nice they are. So
And how
it
busy
gives
they
us
are.
yeah, and how busy. Yeah, we were playing till 12 midnight, and the courts were still full. Couldn't believe
Crazy.
it. So if that's if that's a view into the future of the Philippines, the future for Philippine pickleball really looks bright.
And we touched on it a bit earlier, but with the growth of pickleball, everyone really has a role. The players, the pros, the court owners, the people who are building the courts. Where do you think you as a sport retailer really fit into that? What would you say that your role and the company's role is in really developing the growth of the sport outside of just, carrying the equipment?
Well, our company's mission is to help Filipinos become champions in sports, in life through sports. So pickleball means a lot of things to Filipinos, no, especially kids, especially those in the rural communities, especially those who have less opportunities. Good pickleball players, if they're identified at an early age, can get scholarships. It'll put them through school. Of course, if they excel, they can make it their city, provincial, or even national team. And it could be a ticket. It could be a ticket to another life. To be honest, no? So in the field, and of course, so many opportunities for other occupations like coaching, training, of course, running courts. But the biggest thing, of course, is just getting the whole population fit and healthy and that's something that we really want to do because, to be honest, Filipinos don't play that many sports because we really lack facilities, no? Public facilities for sports, no? So the biggest asset we have are lots of basketball courts, a lot of cement. They're mostly cement courts. But one day I see that all those cement courts will have tape for 3 pickleball courts, no? So that's the hundreds of thousands of pickleball courts that we could have just on top of existing basketball courts. So if that happens, then I'd be very, very happy because I'll see a lot more people of all ages, all walks of life, just playing something. Whereas now it's hard to get people into some sports. Basketball isn't for everyone. Tennis, badminton isn't for everyone. Badminton, you need an indoor court with a roof, no wind. Pickleball, you don't need all of that. You just play it anywhere, even outdoors.
Yeah.
So for me, I really, really am banking on pickleball becoming a lifestyle that everyone in the Philippines can enjoy. And like I said, it's seldom that I see a sport like that.
That's well said. I think and that's an interesting difference in the States because in the States we saw, there are a lot of public tennis courts. Almost every local parks and rec town has a tennis court, and
Right.
what we saw is those being converted into pickleball. And it's interesting to see that the most prominent courts here, at least outside, are basketball courts. So
Right.
yeah, but it's a perfect setup for pickleball, right? Because you
Yeah.
could leave the hoops. All you need is a temporary net to bring out there occasionally.
Yeah. It blew my mind the last time we were in the US in LA. I drove by so many big public tennis court facilities, and they were mostly empty. I was shaking my head. Wow,
I
there's
know.
so many courts. And here, the only problem is basketball courts are always full. So we're gonna, battle it out against all the basketball players. But I'm hopeful that one day, and it's happening. It's happening. Some mayors, governors have already invested in building dedicated pickleball courts, so that they don't disrupt the basketball community. So it's happening. It's happening. It's just starting, but if this continues, and I don't see why it wouldn't. It's an affordable sport. It's an easy, like I said, it's easy and accessible. So I don't see any reason why pickleball doesn't become the national pastime.
Exciting to hear.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Anything else, Migo?
I think we covered most of it. So
Who has a higher duper, me or Migo?
Rob doesn't know.
I'd lean.
Of course, I'm injured, so he's thinking that's gonna change.
Well, I'm thinking less results means maybe Toby's higher.
It's not close.
It's just
Toby's
the
higher?
35-year head start in playing
So he
racket
played in the
sports,
US.
probably.
And farmed.
When I
Duper
played in the States,
there.
yeah.
Farmed.
Did he create? He created
there.
multiple duper accounts.
No.
No,
He played like 3 games, had 100 reliability.
I played in the Yola Pickleball celebration, 4 straight
That's
days.
right. That's right.
9 to 5. And the best thing about it is what I had a Vietnamese partner who had the most wicked third shot drop. And I was just crashing every single. I didn't know any better. I just converted from tennis. So
Just
I
crush the
thought,
ball.
I thought I'm supposed to charge the net and kill everything that comes back. So this guy was just
sounds like it worked.
had this.
You just had
had this
full faith
perfect
in his
third
partner
shot.
drop.
Yeah, I didn't even.
You were fortunate that he had a good drop. Yeah.
It's perfect drop, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't know I was supposed to check whether it was a good drop or not. I just crashed every single one.
So no
It's
drop,
ultimate faith.
no drop, no dink, no fourths. Came back a fourth.
Migo's like, what is
Exactly.
this? This is absurd.
Yeah. Hey, but we won some tournaments together, and I pulled you up too. No, you pulled me up too.
We did. We
went 7-1.
Joined advanced.
7-1's that's a solid record.
Yeah. We'll take on
Whose
any
fault was
father
it for
and
the
son.
one loss?
Mine.
Well,
mine.
let's just say my record in our tournament in the same venue is 9-1. So that makes it undefeated without him and 1 loss with him, while he is like 4-4 right now.
Okay, so it's very clear cut who's responsible for the results.
Yeah, when we win, it's always because of him. When we lose, it's always because of me. Yeah. But it's all right, No, at least we have a
thing you know.
solid father and son tandem. We're willing to take on any father and son team.
But how fun is it
When
that
I
you
get
guys
better.
can play together? And I mean, that's the beauty of this sport.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's true. Like, people call pickleball an old person game, and sometimes it's seen as like degrading. But if you think about it, what other sport is like that? What other sport can you play with someone 25 years older, 30 years older, and both people can have fun? That's not something.
And there was one time we even played with my dad, who's 77 this year. So, and he was holding his own. I think, if I'm not mistaken, me and your grandfather beat you two, Migo and his brother. Yeah.
That's great. Keep that one in your back pocket for sure. That's some good bragging rights.
77 lost against a 77-year-old. He was a tennis player.
I was just learning. It was like my first month on the sport.
Okay, here come the excuses.
That's a tough L, Migo.
Yeah.
That's a tough L.
Yeah.
And
We
I
should come
think
out on the short.
All right. Well,
I'm
we can
live that.
we can wrap her up there. Appreciate you coming on, Toby, and telling us more about the business, telling us more about PCL and what's happening, and excited for the event in mid-November here.
Same here. Can't wait to see you guys on the live commentary for the stream. That will be a real treat to have you guys there.
Sounds like the bar's set pretty high with your last commentary, so I'm a little nervous about it now.
No, you're pro, man. You've done this before, so it's the first time we're gonna have pro level insight in our commentary.
No, I'm gonna just rip everybody to shreds.
Why did they
just
speed
kidding?
that
Just
up
kidding.
there? My God.
What are they doing? Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
That's it for this week's episode of Asia Pickleball Insider, powered by Sports.
Brought to you by Sports Predict. Yeah, we did it. Do it again. I just wanted to make sure you got it.
That's it for this week's episode of Asia Pickleball Insider. brought to you by Sports Predict. Thank you again, Ram Sports. We appreciate. Thank you for coming on, Dad. And that's a wrap for this week.
See you guys next week.
All right. Thank you.
Wait, don't